Okay, so today I want to show you guys how I might teach a horse to side pass up to the mounting block. It's something that I think if you never were taught how to do it, like say like a 10-year-old kid, they saw somebody do it and they're like, I'm gonna get my horse to do that. That's probably one of the best ways to do it, is to just say, I need my horse to come to me on the ground. How you do it doesn't matter a lot. I think there's a lot of ways to do it. If you look at what I'm going to teach first is my horse's hip to come to me. Now, if you look at how we bend one around, we take their nose and we bring it here. What does the hind end do? The hind end goes that way. So we might put our leg on because we're going to start teaching it off of leg, but then we use their anatomy and physiology by putting them in a place where they're going to do that. So when I teach this, I enjoy teaching it out in the middle of the arena. I've also seen where you put the fence right here so they can't move away from you, and then you hold up under their chin so they can't go forward, and then they figure out to come to you and then you release. So pretty much the whole thing is we're gonna bug our horse until it brings its hip towards us. That's all we're really after. So how I would teach it is I would just hold him here so I can be in a position to take his nose away from me. And even if he keeps side passing that way, which I haven't actually taught this horse to side pass away from the whip, and that would be a really good place to start, but I'm more or less explaining you don't have to. The more things you teach your horse and the more tools you have, the better off you'll be, but you don't have to do that. So I think a lot of people get hung up on, well, my horse doesn't move over that way well enough or move off the whip well enough. So I'm just going to show you, first I'm going to teach this horse to move its hip towards me. I'm going to be on its left side and I need it to move its hip to the left. So if I hold right here, I raise my whip and then I'll cluck, and then I'll maybe tap him over there, push his nose away like that, there. And so when his hip moved, I just quit tapping, and I don't know if you guys could see that. And he's a very relaxed horse, so a lot of horses will side pass that way for a while before they actually move their hip to me, but I just keep pushing the nose away. So I'll start again. I raise my hand up, I cluck, and then I push the nose, tap the hip, there, and stop there. Just teaching him that when I do things in that sequence, I need his hip to come to me and I'll quit bugging him. There. And I'll just do that over and over, and pretty soon when I raise my hand up, his hip comes to me, and if I want him to side pass, I just lead him with the lead rope, and his front end comes and his hind end comes. So we're going to work at that for a few minutes, and then we'll pick back up where he's kind of improved a little bit. Okay, so we've worked at this for about 4 minutes or so, maybe 3, and he's got the concept pretty well because he's in a really relaxed frame of mind, so he learns pretty quick. So I'll just show you where we're at. Raise this up, I'll cluck, then he comes to me. And if I bring his head, then he'll kind of do like a side pass. Now if I want more hind end, I'll slow his head down and I can get more hind end. So I'm using my left hand to help operate what his front end does. And don't need that. So now we're going to take it to, well, I'm going to show you one more thing. Always make sure your horse moves away from you well after you do this, because they'll get confused when you put pressure on them and they'll think, I got to take my hip to you. And then everybody standing around says, oh, he just tried to kick you. It's like, no, he got worried and confused, so he just tried something he's learned, which is side pass to me. So you need to be able to move your horse away from you. Now, if they don't move away from you well, do the same thing. I don't know if I've taught him to side pass away from me yet, so I'll do the same thing with his nose if he doesn't move away. So I'll put it here, cluck. See, he wants to come to me. I'll take his nose, there. When the hip went away, I released everything. And at first, I can't really push his head away because his hip wasn't going very good, or I could, but it wouldn't have worked as well. So I start with his hip, and then I can start to kind of manage his head, push his head away, and get him to side pass away from me like that. So we're going to take it over to the mounting block because there is a bit of a transition when you go to the mounting block where they'll get confused, but all you're looking for is that one step to you. I want to walk him straight on to it. Makes it a little bit harder. So I'll get here, I'll bring him up to me, and then I'll raise my hand and do the same thing. Cluck right here. There we go, and then release. And I was just pushing his nose away. Now a lot of times what they'll do is they'll take their hip away from you, and eventually I'll probably just switch sides of their head and tap them until their hip goes to their left. So if they take it the wrong way at first, just switch sides, and I don't care if they're way over here, you just tap them until they move that way. Take a little break, start again. So then I give him a little break when he's close. Now he didn't put the stirrup by my foot yet, but this is the beginning, so I don't need him perfect. I just need him to understand he's supposed to come to me. He acts like I've done this before because he's kind of smart, but I have not. There, he might go the wrong way here. Oh, he didn't. I'm going to get his hip a little more. Good. Now I'll just pat him. Now a lot of times in that situation, they'll take that hip away, and then you'll have to do what I said and switch sides with your whip and tap him back that way. But he kind of wants to figure this out, and if you let him rest right here, and then you just walk away, like the first few days I teach this, I don't get on him from here. I just walk away, and then I go get on him like normal. You could get on him, but you know, I just don't. I just rest him and then walk away. So we might find a little tougher horse to show you a little bit of this process too, because he was pretty easy, but that's how we do it. It's not too tough. It might take you a few days, but it's a pretty fun thing to teach.